Hi everyone, thank you for having me. My name is Amish Vyas. I am co-founder and CEO of AI4Pharma Tech Limited, which we founded in September 2024. Just brief background about myself. I have been in pharma industry for almost 32 years now and have been in various roles across various functions, predominantly in the business and commercial side of the business, but overall have worked in the manufacturing, quality, regulatory, supply chain across the board. And when I decided to come back to India after my brief stint in US and Europe, one of the things we started thinking about is that how can we leverage the power of digital technology and artificial intelligence in pharmaceutical, specifically focused on generic products manufacturing and supplies. As we all know, pharmaceuticals is a very highly controlled industry where there are a lot of regulatory bodies are involved in terms of manufacturing, quality and release of the products. And therefore, it's always a challenge, how can we involve or incorporate digital and technology in the pharmaceutical manufacturing so that we are able to harness the power of technology, at the same time ensure total compliance and improve the efficiencies. So while quality and compliance is the major responsible or major focus area for pharmaceutical companies, because of the pressure on the costs, it is also important to have the manufacturing which is at a very highly efficient manner. And that is where another area we thought of focusing, that how can we leverage technology to improve the efficiency and thereby overall reduce the cost of the manufacturing. So with that vision, the idea is that use AI for improving quality compliance, reduce or I would say improve manufacturing efficiencies and thereby reducing the cost. And with that vision, we started working on our journey, and over the period of last, I would say almost 20 months, we are very happy to say that we have launched very useful 6 AI-based SaaS products which are cutting across quality, manufacturing, compliance, and also intelligent data analytics. And these products are Batch Smart, which is for paper-based batch manufacturing records review and release system, CoA Smart, which is a certificate of analysis, review and analytics system, Label Smart, which is the biggest reason for recall. I mean, packaging materials and the errors in the packaging materials have been the biggest reason for recall in pharmaceutical industry, and that's where we felt that if we are able to find out or develop a product which is able to identify human error or any mistakes in any of the packaging material, be it label, carton, product insert, and actually it can be expanded into any other printing material. And that's where the idea of Label Smart came in. Last but not the least is the APQR Smart, which is the annual product quality review report generation. And I'm very glad to say that this is our latest product which we launched, which is APQR Smart. For any pharmaceutical company, APQR, which is an annual product quality review, is, as all of you know, that it's the most important aspect which every regulatory authority expects you to generate yearly for every commercialized products. So generally, the issue with the APQR report generation is that it is very important process, it is very important report which one needs to generate, but it takes away huge amount of management bandwidth from quality teams, manufacturing teams who are involved into the day-to-day operations. And as we all know that it can take anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks to generate one APQR report for one product. And you imagine pharmaceutical companies which are having hundreds of SKUs and products which are being manufactured at their manufacturing facility. So it is a mammoth activity which companies have to go through, and there is lot of manual intervention which is required in preparation of the APQR reports. And It is a complex exercise where various departments, be it manufacturing, quality, in-process quality assurance teams, the packaging teams, the API teams, lot of teams are involved who has to provide data for each product during the course of the year, and then the quality team has to go through the whole data, upload that manually, analyze that manually, and develop the trends as far as various quality parameters are concerned, and predict whether the product quality is in a control state or there is some tweak which has to be done. So when we were thinking about various of our existing products, one of the ideas which came through is that why can't we provide digital assistance and use the AI to help pharmaceutical company reduce this human intervention as much as possible with a few objectives, right? One thing is clearly the saving the manpower, saving the time required, saving the resources required. So it is the purely the saving on time. Second is of course thereby the cost of generating a APQR report also is high because there is a lot of manpower required. Third is, which is the most important, is the human errors which happen because there are hundreds and thousands of pages which has to be reviewed, data needs to be captured, it has to be transcribed into your whatever system you are following, like Excel or anything of that sort, and then you have to analyze that data, create a trend analysis, generate various graphs, and then ultimately convert the into a APQR report. And because of this massive human involvement required for capturing data, transcribing data, generating reports, and preparing a report, it ends up having a lot of human errors which are there. And this is something which any regulatory authority does not like. And therefore, there are twofold objectives when we were preparing APQR report or APQR Smart product, is that how can we help companies reduce this human error? How can we give companies a tool where they are able to do an intelligent trending analysis to predict what are the things which are not going in line with the expected quality outcomes for every product. And third is that how can we squeeze the time it takes to prepare the report and thereby reduce the resources requirement. And with that objective, we developed this APQR Smart. We have been demonstrating that to various companies, and initial response has been phenomenal. Actually, even while we were developing this product, there are so many of the companies, when we were demonstrating other products, they were saying is that when are you going to be ready with APQR Smart? So I'm very happy to say that on 15th of June, we have launched the first version of APQR Smart, where whether you are having a system which is electronic system like LIMS, TrackWise, EQMS, or you are having a paper-based system which you are following on a manual paper-based system, the APQR Smart is able to use any of your existing system, whether it is paper-based, whether it is hybrid, or whether it is a purely electronic, and then it is able to capture data from any of the sources, and then you are able to generate the report in a fraction of the time which it would take otherwise, I would say, days or weeks. So that is one of the biggest feature, I would say, is the flexibility our tool is providing to the pharmaceutical companies, where our APQR Smart is not only addressed to one type of company who is on electronic, but it is able to give you a flexibility to use any of the processes, because not all companies are 100% electronic, not all companies are 100% paper based. Most of the companies have a different degree of digitalization which is involved into the APQR generation and overall manufacturing processes. So this is something which is very unique. As we speak, going forward, we are also working on as the second version of APQR, which is the additional feature rich, where the APQR Smart will read through your batch records, through your quality reports from your QC labs, any paper-based data where you don't have to actually read through manually, put it into Excel sheet or in whatever format you are doing it, and upload into APQR Smart. But actually you can link those things, and even if it is a manually handwritten thing, you are able to read through it, and it will take away complete one large step, which most of the time taking a biggest chunk of people's time. So that is something which we are working on, and we will be updating you on the development of that additional feature. But as of now, the current version itself is of a phenomenal help. We believe that it will save a significant amount of time and energy for the companies. At the same time, it will also increase the quality of the APQR report, which ultimately obviously will help pharma companies face any inspector from any regulatory authority with much more confidence, because you know that the APQR report which you have generated is of much higher quality. At the same time, one of the things which I kept on hearing and kept on getting a feedback is that APQR report sometimes becomes a data dump. So you have all the batches, you have all the test results, you have all the OSs, quality complaints, BMR report and everything. But most important thing which regulatory bodies which look for is the trending analysis, because they want to see whether all the reports which you have uploaded, is there anything which someone needs to be looking at, because that is where they want to be in control of and ensure that if there is something which is out of ordinary which is happening, it can be curtailed at the source of origin itself. So we believe that APQR Smart gives that ability to the pharmaceutical professionals to plot the trending, identify the possibilities of product going out of specs or anything well in time, and therefore it will add not only features, it will not add additional value to the APQR report quality, but it also controls your quality going forward and avoids costly rejects or costly batch range. No, so we are very happy, and we believe that a lot of pharma companies should be able to take advantage of our APQR Smart, and we would be happy to actually show any demo which you would like to have. You can go to our company website www.ai4pharma.ai or specific APQR website apqrsmart.ai4pharma.ai and request for a demo, and we would be happy to take you through the whole APQR Smart. Thank you.